Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever noticed how people don't appreciate something until it's gone? How the moment you stop calling, stop texting, stop checking, and suddenly they start wondering where you went. That's because silence is powerful. It makes a man think. It makes him question himself. It makes him start obsessing over you because now he's got a mystery to solve. See, when you're always there, always available, always giving, always showing love, he starts thinking that's just how it's supposed to be. He gets comfortable. He takes you for granted. But the second you pull back, the second you go quiet, that's when he realizes something is missing. That's when the tables turn. Let me tell you something. Nothing messes with a man's head more than a woman who was once available suddenly going silent. No arguments, no explanations, just distance. And that distance will drive him crazy. If you want him to see your worth, if you want him to feel your absence, don't beg, don't argue, just go silent, because the loudest message you can ever send is saying nothing at all. When you go quiet, the first thing that happens is curiosity. A man who was once used to you always being around, always responding, always making the effort, suddenly finds himself wondering, why did she stop? Why isn't she calling? Why isn't she texting? What's going on? And let me tell you something, curiosity is a powerful thing. It makes people think. It makes them search for answers. It makes them pay attention in a way they never did before. See, when a person knows exactly where you are, what you're doing, and how you feel about them, they get comfortable. They assume you'll always be there. They don't have to wonder about you because you've made yourself an open book. But the moment you close that book, the moment you stop giving them access, their mind starts racing. And trust me, that's when the obsession starts. Because now they don't have answers. Now they don't know what's going on in your head. And nothing drives a person crazier than uncertainty. At first, he might act like he doesn't notice. He might brush it off like it's nothing. But as time goes on and you're still quiet, he starts to feel it. He starts checking his phone, expecting to see a message from you that never comes. He starts going through old conversations, looking for clues. He might even bring up your name in casual conversations with friends, just to see if anyone knows what's going on with you. The curiosity eats at him because now he doesn't have control over the situation. Men like to feel in control. They like to think they know exactly how a woman feels about them. They like predictability. So when you suddenly switch things up and go quiet, now he's going to feel that shift immediately. And the more he thinks about it, the more he starts to realize that maybe he took you for granted. Maybe he assumed you'd always be there, so he never really had to put in the effort. But now he's not so sure. And that uncertainty, that's what's going to make him start watching you closely. Now, here's where it gets interesting. He's not just going to be curious, he's going to start questioning himself. Did I do something wrong? Is she mad at me? Is she seeing someone else? And once those thoughts start running through his mind, he won't be able to stop them. Every time he picks up his phone, he'll think about messaging you. Every time he sees something that reminds him of you, he'll feel that little pang of regret. And the longer you stay quiet, the stronger that feeling will grow. Now, let's talk about why this works so well. When you're always available, always reaching out, always the one keeping the connection alive, you're making things easy for him. He doesn't have to wonder about you because you're right there. But when you go quiet, you become a mystery, and mystery creates attraction. Think about it. Why do people get hooked on TV shows? Why do we keep turning the pages of a book? Because we want to know what happens next. We want to solve the mystery. And when you go silent, you become that unsolved mystery in his mind. Now, here's the key. You can't break the silence too soon. You can't give in the moment he starts showing a little attention. You have to let him feel it. Let him wonder. Let him miss you. Because when he starts to feel the absence of your presence, that's when he realizes just how much space you took up in his life. That's when he starts obsessing over the fact that he might be losing you. And that's when he'll do whatever it takes to get that connection back. But here's the most important part. When he does come back around, when he does start reaching out, you have to ask yourself, do you even want him back? Because sometimes when you go quiet, you start to see things clearly too. You start to realize that maybe you were giving too much. Maybe you were doing all the work in that relationship. And maybe, just maybe, you deserve someone who never made you feel like you had to go silent just to be noticed. So remember this, your silence is powerful. It makes people pay attention. It makes them wonder. It makes them realize what they had. And most importantly, it gives you the space to see your own worth. Because the right man, he won't need you to disappear to appreciate you. He'll cherish you while you're still there. A man only truly values what he has to work for. That's human nature. When something is too easy, too accessible, it's often taken for granted. But when it takes effort, when there's a challenge involved, suddenly it becomes precious. And that's exactly why going quiet is so powerful. It shifts the dynamic. It forces him to put in the work if he wants to be part of your life again. When you were always available, when you were the one making plans, checking in, keeping the connection alive, he got comfortable. He assumed you'd always be there, that no matter how he acted, you'd keep showing up. And because he didn't have to put in effort, he didn't fully appreciate what he had. But the moment you pull back, the moment you stop giving him your energy without him earning it, that's when he starts paying attention. That's when he starts realizing your presence wasn't a guarantee, it was a privilege. At first, he may not react. He might even think, oh, she's just being distant for a while. She'll come back. But as time passes and you remain quiet, as he starts to see that you're not just playing games, but actually shifting your focus elsewhere, he begins to feel that loss. And that feeling, that's what makes him start chasing. See, men are wired to pursue. They don't value what's just handed to them. They value what they have to earn. It's why people fight so hard for promotions at work, why they train endlessly for competitions, why they put so much energy into winning games. The thrill is in the challenge. And when you remove yourself from being too available, you become that challenge. Think about it like this. If you walk into a store and there's a pile of diamonds just sitting in a bin like cheap costume jewelry, you'd probably think they're fake. Why? Because real diamonds don't come that easy. Real diamonds are locked up, protected, and valued. That's the difference between a woman who keeps giving her time and energy away to a man who doesn't appreciate it, and a woman who knows her worth. One is just there for the taking, while the other is something that must be earned. When you go quiet, when you stop chasing, when you stop making him the center of your world, he starts feeling that emptiness. And the only way to fill that space is by stepping up. He has to work for your attention now. He has to prove that he values you, that he sees your worth, that he wants to be in your life. Not just because you're there, but because he's willing to do what it takes to stay in it. This is the moment where he has to make a choice. Either he realizes what he had and puts in the effort, or he lets you go. And if he chooses the second option, then that's your answer right there. He was never meant to have you in the first place. Because the right man, he won't risk losing you. He won't need you to disappear just to wake up and realize you matter. But here's the best part. This isn't just about making him chase you. It's about making you see how much you were giving without getting the same in return. When you stop overextending yourself, you start seeing the truth. You start realizing that maybe you were doing all the emotional labor, that maybe you were carrying the weight of the relationship, that maybe you were holding on to someone who wasn't holding on to you. And that realization, that's what sets you free. Because the moment you step back, the moment you decide that your energy is valuable, that your time isn't something to just hand out freely, you start attracting the kind of love that actually deserves you. The kind that doesn't need to be manipulated or forced. The kind that doesn't require silence as a strategy, but naturally comes with mutual effort and respect. So let him work for it. Let him feel the distance. Let him put in the energy if he really wants to be in your life. And if he doesn't, then you already have your answer. He was never willing to work for you in the first place. And trust me, you deserve someone who will. Men don't like to admit it, but they feel the loss of a woman's presence deeply. The problem is they don't always realize it in the moment. When a woman is always there, always calling, always texting, always making sure everything is okay, he starts to expect it. He starts to believe that no matter what he does, she'll always be there. That's why when you pull back, when you go silent, when you stop reaching out, it shakes him. And let me tell you something, nothing wakes a man up faster than the realization that the attention, the care, and the presence he took for granted is no longer guaranteed. At first, he might not react. He might brush it off, thinking you're just upset or playing a game. But as the silence grows, as the days go by without hearing from you, that's when the regret starts creeping in. That's when he starts replaying old conversations in his head, wondering if he missed a sign, wondering if he pushed you too far. He starts remembering all the little things you used to do, the good morning texts, the way you checked on him when he was stressed, the effort you put into making him feel special. And now those things are gone. Let me tell you something about men. They don't process loss the way women do. A woman feels everything in the moment. When she's hurt, she grieves immediately. She talks to her friends, she cries, she writes in her journal, she feels the pain as it happens. But a man, he doesn't feel it right away. He distracts himself. He hangs out with his boys. He plays video games. He acts like nothing is wrong. But then, when things get quiet, when he's alone, when there's no one filling that space you used to fill, that's when it hits him. That's when the weight of your absence starts to sink in. And here's the thing about regret. It doesn't just pass. It lingers. The longer you stay silent, the more he starts to wonder if he made a mistake, if he let go of something valuable. And the more he wonders, the more he starts obsessing. He starts checking your social media, looking to see if you've moved on, if you're happy without him. He starts thinking about reaching out, but his pride won't let him do it right away. He waits, hoping maybe you'll crack first. Maybe you'll send that one last text. But when you don't, when you keep living your life like you're perfectly fine without him, that's when the panic sets in. Now, let me be real with you. Some men don't wake up until it's too late. Some men let their pride keep them from admitting they messed up. And that's not your problem. Because if he truly valued you, if he truly saw your worth, he wouldn't have put himself in a position to lose you in the first place. But the ones who do wake up, they come back with a different energy. They come back humbled. They come back knowing they can't just walk in and pick up where they left off. But here's where you need to be careful. Just because a man regrets losing you doesn't mean he deserves you back. Regret is not the same as change. Missing you is not the same as being ready to treat you right. A lot of men want you back just because they don't like the feeling of losing. But that doesn't mean they've grown. That doesn't mean they've learned. That doesn't mean they're suddenly capable of giving you the love and effort you deserve. So when he starts feeling that regret, when he starts creeping back into your life, you need to ask yourself, Does he actually value me now? Or does he just miss the convenience of having me around? Does he want to step up and meet my standards? Or does he just want to stop feeling guilty? And more importantly, do I even want him back? Because sometimes when you go silent, you start seeing things more clearly too. You start realizing that maybe you were giving too much, that maybe you were settling for less than you deserved. And when you reach that point, his regret no longer matters. What matters is that you know your worth now. So let him regret losing you. Let him sit with that feeling. Let him realize what he had. But don't ever let regret be the reason you take someone back. Because the right man, he won't wait until he loses you to value you. He'll cherish you while he has you. And that's the kind of love you deserve. When you go quiet, something powerful happens. You take back control. You shift the balance. You stop waiting for him to realize your worth. And instead, you start living your life in a way that forces him to see it. And the truth is, nothing makes a man notice a woman more than when she's no longer focused on him. See, men love attention. They crave it. They might not always admit it, but they thrive on knowing that someone is thinking about them, checking in on them, making them a priority. And when you were doing all of that, he got used to it. He got comfortable. He knew no matter what, you'd be there. But the moment you go quiet, the moment you stop checking in, stop making an effort, stop making him feel like the center of your world, that's when he starts to feel the shift. At first, he might brush it off. He might assume you're just busy or that you'll come back when you cool down. But as time goes on and you remain quiet, he starts to realize that something is different. And that realization is what gets under his skin. Now, let me break this down for you. Men are competitive by nature. They don't like losing. They don't like feeling like they no longer have access to something they once had. And when you stop giving him attention, when you stop making him feel important, he starts to wonder, wait, is she over me? Has she moved on? Is she giving her time to someone else? And that's when the obsession begins. Suddenly, he's thinking about you when he wasn't before. He's checking your social media, wondering if you've been out, if you've met someone new. He starts remembering all the times you were there for him, all the things you did that made him feel special. And now, he's feeling the absence of it all. See, men don't always appreciate what they have when they have it. But when it's gone, that's when it hits them. And the longer you stay quiet, the deeper that feeling grows. But here's the real beauty of it. Going quiet isn't about making him chase you. It's about making space for yourself. It's about realizing that your time and energy are valuable and that they shouldn't be poured into someone who isn't pouring into you. And once you start focusing on yourself, on your own happiness, your own goals, your own peace, that's when you become truly magnetic. Because confidence is attractive. Independence is attractive. A woman who isn't sitting around waiting for a man to notice her is attractive. And the moment you stop giving your energy away so freely, people start noticing. He starts noticing. And here's the thing, you're not playing a game. You're not going quiet just to get a reaction out of him. You're doing it because you deserve better than to be someone's afterthought. You deserve to be with someone who values you, who sees your worth while he has you, not just when he's at risk of losing you. But if he does start chasing, if he starts reaching out, checking in, suddenly acting like he wants to be in your life again, that's when you have to ask yourself, is he coming back because he genuinely sees my worth now? Or is he just afraid of losing the attention he was used to? Because let me tell you something. A man who truly values you won't wait until you go silent to appreciate you. So let him feel the distance. Let him sit with the silence. Let him wonder what's changed. And while he's doing that, you go live your life. Focus on yourself. Put that energy into something that actually benefits you. Because the moment you do that, you'll realize something. He was never the prize, you were. And the right man, he'll see that from the start. Silence is a powerful tool. When you go quiet, you're not just removing your words. You're removing your presence, your energy, and your effort. And let me tell you something, men feel that absence more than they like to admit. See, when you were always there, always reaching out, always making sure he felt cared for, he got comfortable. He got used to it. He might have even taken it for granted. But the moment you step back, the moment you stop giving, that's when he starts to notice. At first, he might not react. He might tell himself, you're just having a moment, that you'll come back. Men like to believe they have control over the situation, that they can predict your next move. But as time goes on and you remain quiet, that's when the shift happens. That's when he starts to feel something he didn't expect. Doubt. Doubt is a dangerous thing for a man who thought he had you figured out. When you were always there, he had certainty. He knew no matter what, you'd be there. He might not have always appreciated it, but he relied on it. He took comfort in it. But now he doesn't know what's happening. Now, he doesn't know if you're still thinking about him, if you still care, if you're still his. And that uncertainty is what starts to eat away at him. See, men aren't always good at processing emotions right away. At first, he might try to ignore it, tell himself he doesn't care. He might distract himself with friends, with work, with anything that keeps him from facing the reality of your silence. But silence has a way of creeping in when everything else gets quiet. It follows him when he's alone, when he's lying in bed at night, when there's nothing to distract him. And that's when the regret starts. He starts replaying conversations, wondering if he missed something. He starts thinking about all the things you used to do. The good morning texts, the way you checked in on him, the small gestures that made him feel special. And now all of that is gone. Now there's just silence. That silence makes him nervous. It makes him wonder if he pushed you too far. And most importantly, it makes him realize that he might not have the hold on you that he thought he did. Because when a woman goes quiet, it means something has changed, and change is scary. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Some men, when they feel that silence, will start to panic. They'll try to reach out to test the waters to see if you'll respond. But let me tell you something. Don't break your silence just because he suddenly wants to check in. Let him sit in it. Let him feel the full weight of it. Because if he truly cares, if he truly wants to be in your life, he won't just send a quick text to test you. He'll step up. But here's the thing. You're not going quiet to get a reaction from him. You're going quiet because you deserve more than to be an option. You deserve to be with someone who values you while you're there, not just when you're slipping away. And the more you focus on yourself, the more you pull your energy away from him and into your own happiness, the more powerful you become. Because here's the truth, silence isn't just about making him miss you. It's about making space for yourself. It's about stepping back and asking, was I getting what I deserved? Because sometimes when you're so caught up in loving someone, you don't see how little you were getting in return. But when you go quiet, when you take that step back, you start to see things differently. And maybe, just maybe, you start to realize that the person who needed to change wasn't him. It was you. You needed to stop accepting less. You needed to stop waiting for someone to realize your worth. You needed to start valuing yourself enough to walk away from anything that didn't make you feel loved, respected, and appreciated. So let him feel the silence. Let him sit in the discomfort of not knowing where he stands with you. Let him wonder what you're thinking, what you're doing, most importantly, whether he's already lost you. Because if he truly cares, he'll show up. And if he doesn't, then he was never the right one to begin with. Either way, you win. When you go quiet, it does more than just make a man notice your absence. It shifts the entire dynamic between you. It forces him to confront the reality that you are not an endless source of attention, love, and effort. And the longer you stay silent, the more he starts to feel that loss in ways he never expected. But here's the most important part. Silence isn't just a tactic, it's a transformation. It's a declaration that you refuse to chase someone who isn't willing to meet you halfway. Men thrive on certainty. They like to know where they stand, what to expect, and who they can count on. And if you were always there, always reaching out, always making sure he felt wanted, he got comfortable in that certainty. He knew you'd always pick up the phone. He knew you'd always be there, no matter how much effort he put in or didn't put in. But the moment you go silent, that certainty is gone. Suddenly, he doesn't know where he stands with you. He doesn't know if you still care, if you still think about him, if he still has the same place in your heart. And that messes with his mind. At first, he may act like it doesn't bother him. He might try to act cool, like he doesn't notice, like your absence isn't affecting him. But the truth is, silence has a way of creeping into a man's thoughts, especially when he least expects it. Maybe it's late at night, when he's alone with his thoughts. Maybe it's when he checks his phone and realizes it's been days, maybe even weeks since you last reached out. Maybe it's when he sees you living your life, smiling, unbothered without him. That's when it hits him. That's when he starts to wonder, did I lose her? Is she really gone? And let me tell you something, men don't handle that kind of uncertainty well, because when they realize they're no longer your priority, that's when they start to feel the loss. And it doesn't just hit them all at once. It creeps up on them slowly, piece by piece, moment by moment. At first, it's just curiosity. He wonders why you haven't texted. He checks to see if you're online. Then it turns into confusion. Why isn't she reaching out? What changed? And then finally, it becomes something more, regret. He starts remembering all the things you did for him, all the ways you made him feel special, all the little moments he took for granted. And now there's a void where all of that used to be. That's when the obsession kicks in. That's when he starts replaying conversations in his head, wondering if he missed something, wondering if there was a moment where he could have done things differently. That's when he starts watching your social media, wondering if someone else has your attention now. And here's the beauty of it all. You didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to beg for his attention. You didn't have to prove your worth. You didn't have to convince him to care. All you did was step back. And in doing so, you made him realize something he never considered before. You were the one who added value to his life, not the other way around. But here's where it gets real. When he does come back, when he starts reaching out, when he suddenly remembers how much he misses you, you have to ask yourself a question. Is he coming back because he truly values you, or is he just afraid of losing the attention he was used to? Because a man who truly cares won't just miss you when you're gone. He'll appreciate you while you're still there. This is why silence is powerful. It's not about making him chase you. It's about giving yourself the space to see things clearly. To ask yourself, was I really happy or was I just attached? Because when you go quiet, you start to notice things too. You start to realize how much energy you were pouring into someone who may not have been pouring the same energy into you. You start to see that maybe you deserved better all along. And that's when you take back your power. That's when you stop waiting for him to realize your worth and start realizing it for yourself. Because the moment you do that, you won't need his attention to feel valuable. You won't need his validation to feel important. You'll know deep in your soul that you were always enough. So let him feel the silence. Let him feel the loss. Let him sit with the reality that you are no longer waiting for him to appreciate you. And if he truly values you, if he truly wants to be in your life, he will step up. And if he doesn't, then you'll know he was never meant to have a place in your life to begin with. Either way, you win. Because the real power, it was never in making him chase you. It was always in knowing that you never had to chase anyone to begin with.